Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Short Box, Season 6. Yeah.
Are we talking about the Joker, just the reviews, the initial reviews?
Yeah. I've got like, and I guess
People are legit worried
Yeah.
murders are going to happen because of this movie.
Oh, jeez.
I'm about to go buy my tickets after
White,
this.
white folks. White folks.
Yeah, you can't give white people any fucking psychotic movies.
I am empowered. Where's my makeup?
Ashley, you got any crazy ass stories to kick us off with?
I haven't been doing anything.
Oh,
I just spent 5 days sitting on my couch
I know. Waiting
for
a
a
rain
hurricane.
that didn't come.
We'll go ahead and kick stone.
Bored.
So wait, you've got no stories, crazy ass family stories to share.
Oh,
We've all been hunkered down. I'm sorry.
Hunkered down.
We've all been trapped in a house.
I told you were white. We
Hunker-
were just
I
talking about how fucking white.
We all been hunkered down.
I know, hunker down, y'all. Did anyone have any crazy or interesting
No.
hurricane
It was a
stories?
little windy.
Y'all was bored as shit.
Yeah.
Bored.
I folded a lot of T-shirts.
You know what? As a nerd who buys too much like shit and doesn't read any of it, it would have been perfect timing
do
to
that
do. I
either.
didn't do
Nothing.
any of that.
I just stared at a
God,
wall.
I'm a lazy.
I finished The Boys.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Welcome to 2 months.
Whoa.
No. How'd you? No shit. I'm the last person talking about catching up. How'd you like it though?
It was great.
I like it.
No,
It was much better than the comic.
Yes. Like I just reread.
I feel like that's been the consensus.
I just reread the comics and like the
It's
last.
it's hard to read some of it.
Yeah, it's cringy. But like the last 4 books, like I think 3 or 4 books are really good. But it's like all that's venom and meanness in the
Yeah.
first 6 books.
I got
It is
to
a lot
the-
of cringy stuff. I'm like, ooh.
I got to the part where like Huey and Butcher, they go into the gay bar, and Huey's so put off by the
yeah.
fact that Butcher's not afraid to be in a gay bar.
Yeah.
And that whole
Yeah.
that whole just section of the book is just very.
I know. It's like, oh, there goes the character I can relate to. He's a homophobe. Great. Awesome. I don't like anybody in this book now. There's no likable people. Thank you.
We
Thank
just
you,
got
Garth
Ennis.
Yeah. Oh, Ennis.
My boss keeps telling me like, man, if they would have did the X-Men story arc,
No
would have
way.
been too much. If they
okay.
would have done this story, I was like, holy shit, how many just
there's a
outlandish
lot of-
shit is in this book?
He gets it all out of his system because, like, I was rereading it to coincide with watching the show, and it was like, man, these first, but like once you get to like the World War II stuff and the last kind of arc, last 2 or 3, probably after Herogasm, it's like, I think really strong. It's the strongest stuff. If they could just, and I think that's what the series is doing. They're cutting out all that first 75% and just going right to the 7 and not all the other groups.
Because I think book 1, whenever it was still a Vertigo book, was great.
Yeah.
But then book 2 starts to get a little. Once he had no boundaries at all,
Yeah.
and Dynamite was letting him do whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah, once DC dropped it, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Why did DC drop it? Even they were like, oh, whoa.
even though it was like one of the
damn.
best.
Well, they thought it was too much of a finger pointing at their superheroes.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's
Well, I
yeah.
guess what you expect from Garth Ennis.
I did kind of like
He did Hitman. He basically
Yeah,
did
that's-
the
yeah,
boys
right.
in DC Universe, and that was fine. But whenever he did it at Vertigo,
On Vertigo, too, like how like just outlandish does your book got to be for them to say, this isn't really a place for Vertigo?
not
Yeah.
that outlandish because Second Coming's like a pro Christian story at this point.
All right, Ashley, I gave you 3 extra minutes. Like,
Oh.
we need a story, Ashley. No,
Story.
It's just been so long since I've seen you and Ed,
Yeah.
and like,
I know, it's been like a month at least, right?
oh my god, wow.
It doesn't even care.
it all runs together. I don't know.
As like, look, as long as there's
Month,
beer
year.
in that fridge,
I don't know.
we good. I want to go ahead and welcome our listeners to episode 262. That's right. Welcome to the Short Box Podcast. My name is Badr Milligan. I'm your host. I got my man Edmund Danzart here with us.
Yo.
Ashley Laney Hoy is here.
Hey,
And special guest filling in for Cesar today is Austin Wade Ellis. Aside from being a good friend of the show, he's also the director of the clothing line Threat Supply. What's up, Austin?
Hi.
And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our one in studio audience member. Malk Jax is here in the house with us. Round of applause. Who else do I want to give some shout outs to? I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all of our Shortbox patrons. There's about like 22, 23 of you guys out there. Ooh. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. Let me see some updates on the whole Patreon thing. We updated the Shortbox mixtape. We dropped the Batman Hush comic book and movie review. I also want to give a shout out to Heroes Aren't Hard to Find, the comic shop up there in North Carolina. Is it Charlotte?
Charlotte, yeah.
Thank you. They reposted our episode with comics generally covering Heroes Con. So shout outs to Heroes Aren't Hard to Find comic book shop. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So none of us. So did anyone read any like comic books or like did anyone consume any nerdy things during like this just these 5 days? Hunker down.
I've read a lot of Garth Ennis Hellblazer.
Woo Assassins is terrible on Netflix.
I've been watching Simpsons ever since we did that damn Bard of Darkness.
You can start your collection.
God damn it! Won't.
And the thing is, I'm buying all these DVDs.
Oh, no.
I'm buying all these DVDs, and I just signed up for the Disney Plus app. But
you can have like a full sleeve.
Yeah.
Simpsons characters.
What about you, Ashley? What you consume during the downtime?
I read about 400 pages of Dune.
Oh,
not
damn.
even halfway through.
Somewhere Cesar is like doing backflips.
I took like 9 naps in between. Like, it's not that it's bad. It puts you to sleep.
It's not an easy read.
No, it's
That's
not.
just prose in general. Like, it doesn't matter how good it is. If you read it at the wrong time of the day,
like when it's stormy outside and you're late. Yeah. So yeah, that's about. I watched a lot of bad. I've seen a lot of bad movies lately.
Ooh, come on, fill us in.
What's the worst?
Like Men in Black International.
Ooh.
Oh man,
no hesitation.
So bad.
Wait, well, let me ask you: was the chemistry there between old girl
Chris
Hemsworth
and Tessa
Yes,
Thompson?
Valkyrie.
I love her. I realized I only like him if he's Thor.
Oh,
wow.
Interesting.
It was all right. And then
Fat Thor at that. It's got to be
Fat Thor.
Chubby Chaser. Oh.
I didn't like Battle Angel Alita. Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
Have you read it?
Nah,
I never read it.
It
looks real bad.
It was not what I wanted it to be.
As a fan of the manga, I liked it.
Yeah.
But as someone who's never seen it and just went in there watching it cold, I'd get it. Those eyes are still weird too. They still weird me out.
Yeah.
Damn. It was just Simpsons, and then I ended up, and this will be my champion, but I finished a whole 2,000 plus pages of Akira, the manga. Shit was amazing. Blew my mind. Did anyone else get like texts or messages from like out of state friends like, hey, just checking in, a lot of crazy things going on in the news. Hopefully you guys are okay with Torian.
No one cares enough about it.
There's
nobody loves me.
I have like an uncle that the only time he's messaged me was this year, and then like I think Irma. He's like, "Are you doing okay?" He's like, "Yeah." And just like, and like 2 years later, he messaged me. Otherwise, I've never met the guy, so he just found my last name on Facebook.
One of my buddies from Ohio hit me up and was asking how I was, doing, and I was like, I'm about to like set up lawn chairs in the street because it's so empty, man. You should be out here.
That's fun. I saw a meme. It's like only Floridians can be mad that a hurricane didn't.
Ashley, you mentioned before we hit record and I forgot that teaser trailer came out, but the Birds of Prey. What's the full title? Birds of Prey, and featuring the emancipation of Harley Quinn,
something like that.
Yeah.
And the only thing it read as was like Harley Quinn featuring or Margot Robbie featuring Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Starring Margot Robbie.
She's playing all the parts.
DC's so good at trailers. I think they're so good at trailers. Suicide Squad,
The Suicide
trailer
Squad trailer.
looked amazing.
It's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. So Justice League trailer looked amazing.
Yeah, it did.
Is anyone like? I just don't know the point of this movie.
I don't. Yeah.
Other than just to give us a spin-off Harley, and I will.
There is no point.
Yeah. Like I it's just one. I am impressed how quick they got this out. I was expecting this to be one of those
Halloween's
movies.
coming up and they got some more Halloween.
That's right.
Harley
Hot
Quinn
topic.
costumes.
Got to
Is
put
it
those
coming
orders
out? Wait,
in.
is it coming out in time for Halloween?
I don't know.
No, I think
Probably
Joker is going to be their Halloween spot.
Oh,
Speaking
I don't know.
about Joker, though, this movie is like it's hot right now as far as just like the preemptive like reviews. I think it's already like gotten an award from the that Venice Film Festival. It got like the Golden Lion or something like that, which I think is like their highest award that festival gives out. But did anyone care to watch whatever the latest trailer is? I said no. I just wanted to. I was like, you know what? I want to see what the hype is. I'm going to go in blind.
I watched it.
Yeah,
Which
it doesn't really spoil anything.
I think it's a great. I'm viewing it differently. I'm not viewing it as this is a Joker in the DC universe movie.
Yeah.
You remember The Criminal, Last of the Innocent? That was Brubaker and Phillips' take on the Archie characters if they were criminals. Well, that was one of the best criminal runs. But I'm sort of viewing it as this is a crime story that's sort of like the Joker.
Yeah.
But so we want to use this IP.
Yeah. It's not going to be the same character that I read weekly in comic books.
Absolutely not.
So I'm coming at it as this is a good crime movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like an incredible movie.
It's like a performance piece for
but it's not necessarily a movie I want to exist. But I'm also going to be in the theater probably opening night to watch it.
Oh no.
You probably step into any Riverside bar at that release date and you're going to hear phenomenal breakdowns. Ashley, did you catch the trailer at all? Are you excited for this movie at all?
I'm actually super excited. I mean, they said it's been getting standing ovations, and Joaquin Phoenix is
All
a
white
great
dudes.
actor. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Finally, a movie for us. What?
Don't push us too far, man. Don't push us too far, Ed. One bad day.
One bad day. That's all it takes. Oh, this isn't based in the comics. Never mind.
Oh, man.
Never even read it.
I did end up watching that Dave Chappelle special, just to throw that in there.
Oh yeah, I just watched that last night.
I'm going to have to wait a couple weeks before I mention my... It's like too hot to
Very
say that you liked it.
polarizing.
Yeah, it's too hot to say like you liked it.
Yeah,
But I thought
I
it
can't
was
say
pretty fucking
anything. I
funny.
You
didn't
get
know.
like parts of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought from start to finish it was.
No, there was a lot of cringe. Like I was like, damn, this is really cringy, and I don't really agree with this. And then the next joke would be like way too funny not to laugh. I'm like, yo, I can't. Like 1 minute, I'm like, oh shit, am I allowed to laugh at this? And I'm in my house by myself. I was afraid if I was gonna laugh, the short box would be canceled. I was like, whoa, shit, let me stay away from this. But I actually got some more info on that Joker since we are doing short box stories this episode. Right now, it's projected at about a roughly like $103 million domestic opening, and if that number holds true, it'll be the fourth highest opening ever for an R-rated film. I think the number 3 spot goes to Deadpool 1. Number 2 spot goes to Deadpool number 2, and then It from 2017 is currently the highest opening for an R-rated film. And it's like, damn, Deadpool's got like 2 of those damn spots. So if Joker does come in at the $103 million,
Yeah, but Joker was only a $50 million budget.
exactly. It's like, damn, they win anyways.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Well,
even
and the marketing budget wasn't overly huge either. So if they get $100 million opening weekend,
Yeah.
just domestically, they're already in the green.
Oh,
right
absolutely.
from the start.
And then as far as like it going up against DC films, if it does hit that 103 domestic opening weekend, it'll put it up against. Actually, it'll put it over Justice League because Justice League only opened to like 93.8 mil, but Wonder Woman is still relatively DC's highest, I think, opening week with 103 million. So
What did Aquaman do?
oh shit! I'll look that up. Actually, that's a good point. The article I was looking at didn't mention Aquaman.
I know Aquaman did better.
Yeah, and in the long run. I don't know about the opening week, but to Ashley's point, I mean, it premiered at the Venice Film Festival. God, whatever. I think we all saw the headlines for an 8-minute ovation.
Yeah, standing
ovation. And apparently, like the Venice Film Fest is one of those where it's like, you know, if you're seeing a lot of headlines about how positive it is, the track record for other movies that have garnered that much attention is usually warranted. I think the last time like a film got a standing ovation at that fest was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was a fantastic movie.
Fantastic.
All
Ashley,
right, all right. We won't argue.
Ashley,
but...
look.
Uh-oh.
You were right. Those last, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So perfect.
Yeah. First 2 hours, though?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm like, yo,
Let's fast forward.
this movie should just be called, like, A Day in the Life of Really Rich, like, white people. I'm like, all right, yo, I got it. But no, that ending was really, really good. But this Joker film, like, I'm down to see more movies like this. If it's... I'm just going to jump the gun and say, like, maybe it is as good as everyone's saying it is. I'm
So
down
you want
to
to just see more good
Yeah,
movies.
just like
What?
yes, DC.
Crazy.
Just like DC, look, you did it. You did it. But I'm down to see more one-offs. I don't know if this movie is gonna continue to be built out, or if we're going to see more of his Joker in other movies. My understanding that's only a one-off movie.
Yeah,
I heard it actually sort of branded as a DC Black Label movie.
Stop!
Batman's dick. Batman's dick. Yeah.
There's a poster. There's an Easter egg in the back if you look real close.
Yo, there's Batman's dick.
I still have yet to see Bad Dick. I haven't seen it.
No, I'm into that. Well, then I'd be down for that. Whatever you want to label it, DC, like these one-off movies, because I don't know.
Essentially like an Elseworld.
Yeah. I mean, I think the similarities whenever they try to do like a connected universe, I think were, especially, I think just me, very quick to compare it to the MCU movies.
Yeah,
where it's like, you guys didn't hit the nail on the head.
I think at this point that window is closed, and I think the fatigue is starting to creep in with superheroes.
And like, why wouldn't you want to take the alternative route? Like, if this is MCU's like bread and butter, this whole connected movies, well, just keep giving us like these one-offs.
I think if you even compared the MCU movies, like if you took them out of that and compared them to the rest of it, I don't think it's just not the same feeling that we had 6 years ago whenever we were first seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna end up buying my tickets right after this. I don't like. I think other than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's the last movie I've seen in theaters, and I'm paying way too much money for this damn like AMC awards program shit. So
sucker.
That'll be up next. Austin, you had a pretty cool news that you wanted to share, and it comes from the Cartoonist Kayfabe team.
Yeah. So it's not anything super recent, but first off, I think those guys are putting out some of the best comic book themed content sort of out right now. But both Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg are starting new comics, and they're documenting sort of the whole process on the channel itself. So pretty much every night Ed Piskor is going on and essentially giving away the comic for free by showing the inking of it. He'll have like a conversation with people as he's inking it, and then show the finished page both on the channel and then in his Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So it's just cool to see them take almost that like webcomic feel of like giving everything for free and then sort of ask for the buy later. But they're even taking that to a next step and sort of telling you the planning of it and talking about the whole thing from the
you get to see the process. That's
the
really
whole
cool.
process, which is really cool.
I know
those dudes are so. I know part of the kayfabe is that they're being transparent and it's not, but just the whole show is just so rad to me. How first off, I feel like those are two of the most educated people in the entire comics industry. We're like outside of creators and everything. They're just so educated on the most obscure, weird titles. And then to see them take that influence, like all the Tim Faust interviews and stuff that they were doing, and then now seeing Piskor basically do a Faust, like the comic he's writing right now is essentially an homage to Tim Faust and that whole outlaw movement. So the whole channel sort of coming full circle at the moment. And it's pretty rad.
I follow them on Instagram, and you can't help but like respect how much they love the medium. Because I mean, they'll post like, we've been in here like digging through, boxes
they'll spend
of comics
all day long for 25-cent comics.
And like in a shop, it's always in those shops that myself, if I walked in, I'd be like, I'm not looking through.
It's too much.
I'm good. You don't even got these alphabetized.
Like
what?
Chamberlain's, but all comics.
It's like boxes. So I do respect their love of the medium. I do love that they look like just regular collectors like us. And they also don't like ask for anything. I think I try to look for them on Patreon to see like what they do as far as taking things.
They just want you to eventually, in like a year and a half, when that book comes out, buy that book. Mm-hmm. It's the super long play, and I just love it. And I think you're going to start seeing more creators follow suit because, we'll find out. Even though Tom Scholey is not like a full-fledged member of the Cartoonist Kayfabe, he's part of that family. So we'll start seeing what actually happens once those
his
Fantastic Four stuff comes out.
It's so like it's hard to describe. It's like almost art brute. He'll like start with like crayon underlays.
Yeah, it's somewhere
crazy.
between fine art and the stuff you would see a 12-year-old kid take out of his binder.
It's like a really good 12-year-old doing Kirby. It's really
that's exact. I feel like if he had to describe it, because that's how he would describe it.
I think that G.I. Joe and Transformers a few years ago.
He did G.I. Joe, Transformers.
Really cool.
He just finished up GoBots. So he's like taking all these crazy nostalgic properties.
It's like one of the things at first was really jarring when I first saw his art, and then the more I read it and looked through it, it's like, oh, okay. And
what was the first stuff you saw that
probably
he did?
the Transformers G.I. Joe
crossover? I found from another podcast, 11 O'Clock Comics, they were talking about American Barbarian, which is incredible. If you like Kirby at all, I strongly suggest digging into his American Barbarian stuff.
I think we were talking about like it's cool to see Ed Piskor. Well, I mean, just Cartoonist Kayfabe in general. Like they're creators and they're well-known creators. They have an approachable. They make approachable content. It's available. It's they're not trying to push an alternative like or ulterior agenda. And then I think I was talking about like if other creators start hopping on the train of like making their own podcast. How kind of cool it would be. And I think you brought up like Jason Latour's got one. And I forgot all about it.
He's got the drawl now.
Yeah, like what was it? The premise is like he just kind of drinks and draws with his like buddies and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I've only watched the trailers to the episodes, but I haven't watched them. But I think he just basically brings in the people who he's worked with a lot, and they have a conversation while he draws. Is what I think. I think that's the general premises of it.
And I'm down to see more channels like that, where it's like these. Professionals in the industry utilizing their network to like shed a light on whatever like that they're passionate about, whether it's the art side of it or the comic book side. I would love to see more like editors do a show like that because I feel like editors are the unspoken heroes of comic books.
They're the string pullers. They're the ones that make everything come together. I mean, in comics, I don't know if we've had anyone that's really good at marketing since Image started.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Stan's the best of all time. But then, I mean, the Image founders sort of did it again. But since then, it's sort of everything. Everybody does it the way someone else has done it instead of reinventing themselves, which is sort of what I feel like Jim Rugg and Piskor are doing. I think Jim Rugg's the most underappreciated illustrator in almost all of comics.
I think even seeing like even further down the assembly line, seeing like inkers and colorists and stuff because. Two of my favorite panels I went to were all inkers, all colorists, and they're just basically telling. This was like years ago at Heroes, and they're just telling like these horror stories and like basically like Marvel would call because most of them are freelancers. So Marvel would call them. It's like okay, we need these 30 pages done by tomorrow morning. If you don't want to do it, we'll get someone else. Like,
damn. And we'll get some cats in Brazil to do it for like.
By the way, it's going to be $9 a page.
Yeah, it's like one colorist was like, "Yeah, he just drew a picture of the box," and then it's like, "Okay, put a universe in there."
Yeah,
like,
that was Laura Martin.
Yeah, I was like, "What?" And then the inker one was like, "This guy doesn't draw hands ever. I have to draw
blocks.
all the hands." Yeah, it's like he does not draw hands. So the inker had to draw all the hands. So it's funny to see like what. Can we just kind of passively think, okay, they just kind of embellish and kind of go over the lines, but there's the stories like that, a guy that, and he was like a big guy, I don't remember his name, but he's like, he just doesn't draw hands. It's like either blocks or nothing. And he just, okay, this is the hand. He just describes it and he has to draw all the hands.
And how the inkers are kind of in charge of continuity sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if a cape is torn on one panel and then the artist forgets to draw it on the rest of the panels, the inker has to like, keep up that continuity. Yeah, I forgot it. That was a great panel.
It was a really fun panel.
Yeah.
I feel like all my favorite panels have involved like colorists or inkers. I found that like if it's a panel of just like pencilers, I'm sorry, it's really hard for at least the moderators I've watched like to really pull out like stories from like just pencilers because they're always like very like just leave me alone. I'm just gonna put my head down and focus on this craft. But inkers and colors just seem like the like. They just share stories so well.
Yeah,
like they're just really fun kind of characters to talk to. Ashley, do you like watch any like artists or channels that like dabble in like showing behind the scenes or anything like similar to like Cartoonist Kayfabe?
I mean, I want to. It's my favorite thing is the panels at conventions, just like the art panels, like the Latour live draw one. Like he's been doing that for a few years, and if he has a channel doing that, like I'd love to watch that.
Yeah. It was cool to see Cartoonist Kayfabe at Heroes Con. I mean, they were like, man.
They just released another interview with like Charles Fordsman and Michelle Fife.
Oh, that's
I think just 2 days ago. But like another panel interview with the two of those dudes.
Austin, your story kind of reminded me of this story I wanted to share regarding. Are you guys familiar with Webtoons, the website webtoon.com, or just the Webtoon kind of like industry / movement lately?
Not really.
All right. So it's webtoon.com, and it's essentially like the best way I can explain it is it's like a YouTube for
Is this hentai?
No, that's
okay.
hentai dot hint. No, it's like
You just got to type that into the search bar.
We'll put that in the
incognito mode
as a link. You may or may not get virus.
It says webtoons.com, and it's basically just like a giant platform for web comics, you know. But they're all vertically. I think it's meant to be viewed vertically on your like mobile device. I was trying to read it on desktop, and it was a little weird, but you know, you just kind of scroll vertically. It's like 60 to 80 panels.
It's comics made to read while pooping.
Yeah. Or like at work not doing shit. Except for taking a shit, right? So, but it's like 60, 80 panels every web comic. So that it's about the average of like a 8 to 10 page comic book. There's like two different sides of the house. There is, I think, the canvas section where it's like creators can just upload whatever comics they want. You know, as freely as they want, sort of like a YouTube, you know. Mm-hmm. And then you've got their originals, where it's like they've, you know, reached out to someone on the canvas side and say, hey, you know, we really like your work. We'd like to, you know, pay for the production
like
of your
in-house
yeah.
yeah.
Like we want you to kind of come in house. We'll pay for the production.
And I believe Sanford Green is one of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's the reason why I think maybe 2 years ago at that Heroes Con, he was part of there was like a big just area for Webtoons, and he was like kind of their premier artist, and I forgot the name of the comic. I think it's like 1,000 or 100.
Yeah,
it's like a number.
1,000. Yeah.
But it's a very lucrative just industry right now. I remember talking to Sanford Green about it. I think it was at Collective Con, and he said, I make way more money off doing the Webtoon stuff because it's all creator owned. Wow. Well, I found a article today, and they were interviewing the Webtoon head of content. His name's David Lee. It's a ICV2 article. But he was talking about how they have a major U.S. ad campaign planned for. It's actually been happening, but it's going to carry on well into the rest of the year. It's like a multi-million-dollar campaign, and his goal is just to make reading comics a normal thing to do. Like just normalize it as much as they can, because they've just been seeing so much success lately. I think it's part of Austin's pulling it up, but yeah, it reads so well mobile wise because you just kind of scroll vertically. So, but they've been putting ads in, like, I think they got listed that Spider-Man Far From Home. They've got ads in like the Lion King movie, Hobbs and Shaw. They've got ads planned for Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Comedy Central, MTV, blah blah blah. Like just a massive ad campaign. So it's going to be kind of cool to see. I wonder if we'll see more creators make that shift to like the Webtoon comic books.
Oh yeah,
because
it's really inevitable.
Yeah, there really is just no like. You just go on that website and you're just reading a comic. You're not reading necessarily a web, comic. At least not the way I kind of interpret it.
Yeah, the technology now, it's like you can actually read it with your eyes, going blind.
Yeah.
So this whole company started in, I think, what was it, Korea?
I think it's Korea.
Yeah, Korea, and then they eventually moved it to the U.S. Because there was just that market there for it. I think currently right now there's over 240 original series on the platform, and 100 to 150 of those come from U.S. creators, and the rest of them are all just like their licensed Korean content. The interesting thing was that their audience breakdown is 60 to 65% female, and the rest male, and it's average age of 16 to 24-year-olds being the largest group. But there's just so many different just like subgenres that you can kind of go in. I was on the website about last week, and I mean, just it's got your standard kind of genres: action, horror, romance. I think there's the romance being kind of like the most popular stuff, but they've got a few webtoons that are like Eisner nominated. I think this year they've got 2 different ones, and this article kind of went into like how it's so accessible and open to just anyone that wants to create a comic book, put it online, and see what happens. That David Lee was talking about like 2 of the most popular ones. Let me see if I can find those names. But 2 of the most popular ones come from like people that kind of just like started doing this as a side hobby. I think one of the creators he highlighted, she was like a programmer, and she was making plenty of money, but she just started doing this and then ended up quitting her job because she was like, I just started I think you can get to a point, if you get pulled into the original side of the house, you can also start profiting in the sense of like ad share, as well as fast passes. They start selling fast passes where I can pay, whatever, $5 to get the comic books early. So there's just a ton of like different options, and I'm
cool.
like kind of keeping my eye on it. And I think it's kind of interesting that you're on the show today because Austin, you're the one that kind of got me into TKO comics. So now I'm looking at like Webtoons doing their own thing, and it's like, damn, it's really cool to see that there are other emerging avenues for the comic book format that kind of looks at technology as like a way to, I don't know, increase profits or just increase like
actually
reachability.
monetize.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, that's awesome.
What are you guys like dabblings with like webcomics? Did you guys ever read any of like the early webcomics or?
Not really. I remember this was years ago. Dark Horse used to do like these pages with really minimal like flash animations, like as like little previews for their physical comic books. But I never, subscribed to a series or anything like that.
I think I used to read like Boondock comics online. Like I would find like a bunch of like blog spots that would happen to reprint digitally, of course, like old comics, like old Sunday strips. So I know there was a site that I used to go to like every day because they would just upload like a new Boondocks comic. And then there's that alien comic book I follow on Instagram, but I don't think, whatever.
Strange Planet?
Yeah, Strange Planet. That is like my shit, man. I've already got the book pre-ordered and all that. But I think Webtoons also is saying that on the Korean side of the house, they've been printing the popular things, like things that have like been massively getting a bunch of likes, comments. They haven't done that on the U.S. side where they're trying to print like their popular U.S. titles. But what they do offer, what they've seen is a few creators start Kickstarters to get their stuff in print, and they've been seeing a lot of success. So I don't know. I wanted to bring it up because it's just like, damn, like there is an avenue for if you want to make comic books, there's definitely an avenue out there to get your stuff not only seen but also profit if enough people like it. So would you ever consider doing something like that, Ashley? Ed?
It's really cool because like the biggest cost when you're making comics is printing them, like yourself.
Oh yeah.
So and you can just put it on there and have like a way for people to find it. Because I think the only thing did anyone read that JL8, like the Yale Stewart Justice League comic? No, that was like the only web comic, and he wasn't allowed to make money off of it, which I think is why he just did it on the web. Yeah. But yeah, it's cool because you always see Kickstarters for people like trying to print stuff. So maybe they could get the audience first.
Yeah, I've seen a lot where they were popular outside of the studio.
Well, you had what Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin did with Pandal Syndicate. That they had, pay what you want and those kind of things. And even amazing creators like Daniel Warren Johnson started. In
Thank you. I was just looking up
like
Space Mullet.
Even I saw like was it Huberto Ramos and Paul Jenkins, like the Spider-Man team, like start a Kickstarter for that Fairyland series they did, kind of like an oversized. And it's like, these two need a Kickstarter? No one's gonna put these guys' books out.
Greg Rucka had one too. Had like a steampunk sort of space pirate kind of thing for a little bit too. But I haven't read a ton of webcomics, but I should.
I think I was talking to Drew about maybe doing either a bonus episode or just a regular episode. But I wanted to kind of challenge us to make an effort to go on the website, find a web comic that impressed us and come on the show to like talk about it. And 2 or 3 of the titles that this article mentions is they've got 2 series nominated for Eisners this year. One's called Lavender Jack and the other one's called Let's Play. And then the one that won an Eisner or was nominated for an Eisner last year is called Lore Olympus, and it's a fantasy romance and also retelling a Greek mythology based on Persephone and Hades. So like I said, that website's got so much stuff out there. There's bound to be a comic or two that really impresses you, and it interests me because it just means that there's more platforms out there for me to like try out and see. Because honestly, I read all my comic books digitally.
More comics to add for you to not read.
More comics for me to like look busy like during a hurricane, right? So yeah, I recommend it. Check out webtoons.com. And if anyone ends up reading one and really likes it or wants to suggest, there's even an app too, which I think probably makes it easier to read the comics. Let us know, man. I think that'll definitely be an episode idea in the near future. I think Austin, you brought up McFarlane and Image. Ed, I think you got a story about our boy McFarlane.
Oh
right?
yeah, kind of ties in with this a little bit, but he was at the where was it? Fan Expo Toronto, and he kind of did a panel, kind of almost like a State of the Union type of grandstanding thing. He likes to do, but he was basically talking about the industry today and the Sony Disney split, saying he was like he basically sides with Sony because it was basically
because
Disney.
they're not Marvel.
Yeah, that's still some bad blood.
Wait,
And,
you got it.
he said it was going to end up. They were trying to basically extract Spider-Man, and they were doing it to avoid this kind of bidding war for the properties. So he was saying basically, he said it's like the best thing for the character that stays with Sony, which is very debatable. But he's basically also saying this is the best time for independent creators because of the big two. They're such, big corporate machines now, and like so you can get your IP out, you can kind of forge your own path. And he says, with how everything is going today, that's going to be he said the independent comics will be stronger than ever. So it's he just kind of going off on that.
I think you got to really believe in your capabilities and like content because I imagine like Sony is. I mean, I like that decision to walk away from that much money.
Yeah.
Because they, believe that if we invest our own creative energies into it, we'll have a bigger return. It's kind of like interesting. It's kind of. I wonder how a smaller publisher or a content creator would arrive to that decision. I mean, it's Sony. It's like not that wild to think. No, they're just going to take their property and go home.
And he's basically saying what's his theory, and we kind of talked about this with DC. He has a theory that it's going to be eventually. And since he's saying that the direct market has been slowly, going down and down year after year, that they're basically going to just outsource their IPs and have other publishers, kind of like you'll see Disney do it. Well, someone like a IDW will do like a Donald Duck comic,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Or
IDW's doing the all ages stuff for sort of Marvel already, aren't they? Like with
they
Star
do
Wars
like
and stuff.
and they then there's like artist editions and stuff like that too. So.
I guess your news piece doesn't surprise me too. I mean, it's McFarlane like defending like content creators and not the big too. So
yeah, and he said that like all the studios after seeing how much money the superhero genre is making, they're buying up IPs left and right. So he's like, you don't even have to have a book out. If you have a cool idea and a concept, you could probably get.
So it's like the when did Marvel start selling their IPs? Like mid '90s, I think, to get out of their bankruptcy. It's like the mid '90s thing again, but intentional this time. Because I think Disney and not Disney, Fox and Sony ended up buying like their properties just to. I don't even think they really had like saw the vision in it or the full potential.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I can definitely see like whatever Disney or whoever owns this property being in a way better spot.
Yeah, and he's saying like comics will pretty much always be around, and like we were talking about, the delivery system's just going to be different.
Yeah.
So like that business model with the Toon Boom, was it Toon Boom? Webtoons. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Even going back to the Sony Marvel sort of. Like they own 900 characters or something insane like that, and they only have to use one character in a movie every 5 years to maintain the rights to it.
And they have some weird movies.
They got Morpheus coming out.
Morpheus, Craven, Black Cat,
Morbius, not Morpheus.
Yeah, Morbius.
I fucked that one up.
Morbius.
No, more BS for real. Just more BS. These are like
BS. Like listen to Badr talk.
like
a Black Cat movie. Come on,
but
guys.
see, I feel like Sony is just like
Silver Sable.
What
No?
decision? A Silver Sable movie? No one wants to see that.
It's like, who knows who that is? Even
A Morbius
knows who
movie?
that is.
Yeah, maybe I might go see that. But
Starring Jared Leto, right?
Is that
Wait.
real?
Or
was that just like I thought I just had like a weird dream.
No,
What?
That's real?
I'm pretty sure I'm dead serious.
Okay.
He's Silver Sable.
that's your
No,
mutant
no.
power. Actually,
Morbius.
Oh, Morbius. Okay, I was like, oh,
Damn, Jared Leto with Silver Sable.
squeeze into that silver jumpsuit.
Damn, Jared Leto can really do it all.
Yes,
Morbius,
starring
It's
Jared
real?
Leto. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's your mutant power. You dream shit and it happens.
Wow, Dreamcaster.
Actually, didn't you say that you were tired of all this like Disney Plus talk?
I am. They just keep announcing stuff like I'm gonna get somebody's password and
Me too.
Either way. So I don't know. There's just so much. Like, they're just showing me how much money they have, and it just makes me mad for Spider-Man. Just let them have Spider-Man and just be cool about it. Like, obviously, you guys are doing great. I just saw the Doctor Strange, like, Surgeon Supreme thing that they're doing.
Oh, that's gonna be a comic book series.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Benedict Cumberbatch's face all over it, so I was like, oh, are they doing a show?
Oh, well, I feel like they're gonna use his face to sell those comics.
Yeah, that's
anyways.
true. Yeah,
So,
there's so many shows.
I think it's just me and Austin that have signed up. Just gave Disney our money 3 years. Look, whenever that D23 deal was going on, I said I have never considered. Like, if I sign up for it, I know I'm not going to cancel it. Like Netflix right now, they're charging me out the ass, but I have not canceled them. So
I know
yeah.
my friend hasn't canceled hers. It's been great.
And there's the thing, I don't get paper bills anymore. All my shit's electronic. So
You have to remember
yes,
what you're
Yeah.
paying.
yes. I think I looked up. It just so happened that I think I got my Netflix side of my PayPal, and they just so happened to like send me like, hey, just wanted to be responsible this month. Here's what Netflix charged you. I was like, what the fuck? $15?
You
Is that
don't
what it's
realize
at?
Yeah.
you don't realize
Close
what
to
you're
15.
paying for until you change credit
No.
cards.
Until you get hit with that email like, hey, we didn't get that money last week. What's good? But no, I signed up for that D23. First of all, that deal was way too good to pass up. It was like $350 a month or something after the.
Yeah, it ends up being like
That's
$389
crazy.
a month or something
Yeah.
like that.
So-
Essentially, you pay for 3 years.
Yeah.
You pay for 2 years, you get the third year free.
Yep. So what I'm gonna do though is sell the password this time. No
That's
freebies this time.
smart.
$1 a
No
month.
freebies. I was disappointed that package deal didn't include like the Hulu and the ESPN because I currently have Hulu.
Yeah,
through-
I was hoping it did.
I know.
but-
It's like,
I thought they did a 3-tier.
They do, but
But
this-
that one's $12.99 a month.
Oh, okay.
$7.99 a month.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, they got me, suckers. Let's see. So we got the McFarlane stuff. I think Ed, you got one more with Shonen Jump news, right?
Yeah, Shonen Jump will be having a weekly series featuring Marvel characters.
Speaking of Marvel
I know.
pouring out their IP to have
Yeah.
other creators.
So anyone knows the Shonen and the Jump series? That's like where every manga you've ever watched ever has started. Like One Piece, Dragon Ball, everything.
Did you ever buy Shonen Jump? Mm-mm. I think I was buying when I think they were really popular in what was it, middle school or high school?
Yeah, you'd see them-
It was early high school for me. I
Okay,
remember,
all right,
'cause
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
when
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
There we
first
go.
came
That's
out.
Yeah.
what it was. I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh that made everyone. Was Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh
was-
made everyone buy the Shonen Jump things, right? Yeah. Because those early Yu-Gi-Oh comic books were really fucking violent and nothing like the card game. So yeah, and they were not easy to store neither. Like
no.
5
So
Shonen
big.
Jump magazines. I was like, damn,
That's your whole backpack.
Yeah,
so big.
yeah.
And that's another thing that ties into like the IPs. Like you're seeing, like since all the superheroes are pretty much down on lock, you see a lot of these manga IPs. Especially Netflix has like 1,000 anime series now. So it's like that's going to be from what I was reading that like the manga is selling better than the traditional American comics in the States. So that's going to be like another. Okay, we can't get Spider-Man. Let's go get XYZ these manga series. So, but the characters so far are going to be Iron Man, Spider-Man, Avengers, and Deadpool. So, like I said, it just
movie
got released.
properties.
Yeah, so it just got released. Haven't got to see anything yet. I think it's their online. It's the Shonen Jump Plus. So there's like 35 branches of that company. So I don't know which one that is.
Are they just?
I know they have like an app that's like $1 or
Yeah.
$2 a month, and you have
Oh, it's not
complete
bad at all.
access to their whole library too.
That's really not bad at all.
Yeah.
No, it's probably the best deal in all.
All right, fuck this
comics,
Webtoon
but-
shit.
Well, Webtoon is free.
Yeah. So are these characters just going to appear in a cameo or a story?
No, it's stories. Their own
Oh.
Japanese versions. Their story, but not bootleg like Batman back in the day. They did this Japanese Batman. comics.
yeah. Damn. That stuff like that is cool, but there is a part of me that is turned off when it's just the movie characters, because to me it just comes off like as a very cheap, like, hey, like check us out, we're throwing our our bigger.
Well, you expect them to jump straight into Howard the Duck?
I know. It's like very nitpicky, but
get that Fool Killer
I
series.
just wanted like one one character that might have like, oh, what? Like, yeah, I get it. Iron Man, Spider-Man, Avengers, Deadpool. Like, I've seen enough of them. I wouldn't have minded.
So you want the Shonen Jump multiple man?
Yeah. Shonen Jump, Moon Knight. Like, yo, hop on these damn characters that no one knows about.
Well, Moon Knight's about to be a TV show, so
Yeah.
Are you excited for that at least? Ashley?
That's going to be cool.
Oh, now you want to. Okay.
I mean,
So
is that
wait,
going to be on Plus, or is that going to be...
No, that'll be on Plus.
Because that Plus is
Plus
like
is about to be the
PG-13
home of everything.
PG-13 and under, right? There's nothing rated R that's going to...
No, I think that's where Hulu is going to come into play.
So that'll probably... Okay.
Which, by the way, Hulu does not scream rated R like spicy content. Like, it's got ABC
Because they're
Family
doing
and shit
those cartoons, like those 4 animated series on Hulu. Those are supposed to be kind of more
Yeah.
edgy.
Yeah. The Disney Plus will they won't be housing any rated R stuff. It'll be like the Hulu's, all their like kind of adult content. But I think Moon Knight was
essentially
slated
the
for
Fox content.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you're excited coming out of Disney?
I mean, the Loki TV show.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
I mean, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to I did complain about it, but I'm going to watch them all probably.
I think we need to pick one show that when it drops, because that Disney Plus app is dropping in November, I think 12th, like very soon. We need to. Oh, the 20th. Okay.
I think.
Then we need to. I feel like we need to pick one show to do like a review. I wouldn't mind doing another like episode.
Well, they're going to be weekly
breakdown.
releases.
Oh, perfect, sweet, sweet. Because I wonder
they're
if
not dropping all of them? They're doing...
No, because they want to make sure that you have to stay on month by month.
damn.
Smart.
Oh, there goes my shady links.
Yeah, I feel like we might need to pick
I
one.
think all of them are. I know The Mandalorian's going to be a weekly release. So if they're doing it with
Man.
that, I would assume everything's going to be
That
weekly.
trailer is so badass.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so good.
God, he didn't even take off his helmet. I was like, all right, you got my attention.
I hope he doesn't. I hope
No.
it just sticks to he's just a
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
yeah.
Sort of like the man with no name.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. How about we going to take a quick break? I want to go and play this season 6 rap version of the intro song that Alan Fresh provided us. So we're going to play this quick music break. We'll come back. We got emails and voicemails to play, and then we'll do champion season. So stay tuned.
Fanboys and fangirls once again. We're back serving the finest of pop culture class. Oh yes, go and tell a friend. The Short Box Season 6. Now let's begin. Now you know that we never give you that ordinary. We the hand with the plan, Lannister legendary. Build the brand for the fans, something that's necessary. While I lace you with heat, simply extraordinary. Yeah, so subscribe, you know the motto. Even if you're far from home, go ahead and follow. From Jax all the way to Krypton, we keep you locked on. Each and every time that we on, we bring you right home. Yeah, so let the show begin. Bring your comments from the hottest of Marvel, DC, and friends. You're rocking with Fresh, the Shark Box, now that's a win. Love times 2,000, over and back again. Fresh.
I do got an email I wanted to have Cesar read, but since he's not here, you guys know the rule about shit talking our missing co-hosts. Because it's about to go down.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I guess I'll fill in and read the email. So the first one we got is from the Bart of Darkness, a.k.a. Warren himself. Ooh. He writes, Dear Shortbox, that Bart of Darkness episode was truly great, and it was very special to me as a fan. I can tell from listening that Warren is very intelligent and handsome. Damn. He just texted me, too. Like, whoa. I bet you. All right, I can tell from listening that Warren is very intelligent and handsome. I can't believe he was able to tell that from a audio show. Okay, and he clearly is better looking than C by a mile.
Wow.
What's with that guy, anyways? Can't he just read a book and enjoy it without poking holes all in it? He really sucks. Anyways, please have Warren on again, as he is the absolute best. Clearly, long live the Simpsons. P.S. Kick C off the podcast. I hate
Yes.
Warren, Part of Darkness. Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's my favorite email ever.
Yeah, it is. I feel like this Warren and Bart of Darkness dude are one and the same, but I don't know.
That's
I am curious what he would say about you reading Dune, Ashley. You know he loves talking about some fucking Dune.
It's so funny because, so my friends at the comic shop call me Mikey because you know that Life cereal commercial where the kid's eating and
Mikey
he's like,
likes
"Oh, Mikey likes it," because I don't like a lot of stuff. But Cesar makes me feel like I love everything.
Actually, yeah, and in comparison,
Yeah.
you come in here like, I really like that.
I'm like, I enjoyed that, and then I see him side eyeing me. I'm like,
yeah. Tuck his chin a little bit.
And then, like, the one thing I haven't liked in the past 2 months is that freaking Tarantino movie.
Which, once again, was really good, actually. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck you were talking about.
6 good minutes.
I forgot who the hell texted me, but they were like, look, don't you listen to Ashley. You go watch that movie, and you make your own opinion. For the record, C's going to text me later like, you motherfucker. Y'all read that damn email? All right, shout out to Lauren and Bart. Huh?
Did he see it?
See what?
The email?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to listen to this.
Yeah, he's not going to listen.
Yo, look, C said it best. I live this shit. I don't need to listen.
He actually said that. He actually said he is the worst. I agree.
Now we love him. All right, next email is from Matt Vigo. His email is titled Long Time No Emo. He writes, hello, Shortbox. I just recently caught up on a bunch of episodes I missed. So firstly, I'd like to thank Drew for championing the chocolate part of the Oreos. That's the best part.
What?
Let me pause real quick.
About that.
No, it's fucking not. All right? It's a package deal. All right? I don't think
that is the most Drew sounding shit I've ever heard in my life.
I wouldn't buy Oreos without the cream in the center. Just a bunch of black wafers in there.
Who was
and then
here
dry ass wafers.
Wafers.
Watching him. Who was here watching him pull the cream out of them?
Oh my god!
Right?
Well, I for sure was here.
I was here too. Who else saw it?
No, I think it was just me and you.
He was just pulling the cream out of the Oreos and just.
Yeah, you ever looked at your friend like, man,
just like looking at it? Like, what was he doing
just
with
removing
You can like remove it in one piece
and just eating the cookie.
You don't have to scrape
like a
it.
psychopath.
Well, he wanted both sides of the cookies.
Oh,
you know. So then he just got a plate full of.
He just had a pile of cream just sitting in front of him.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Did he like mold it into things?
Yeah, a sculpture.
For the record,
look at this dick I made out of Oreo.
Oh my god! Damn, Ashley, I forgot that he did that in front of us.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
And if Ashley's calling you a sociopath, All right, I'm sorry, I got to concede this email. Matt, you are wrong for that. So you and Drew can enjoy your fucking dry ass chocolate parts all you want. He continues, I have recently
dry ass chocolate parts.
Dry ass.
I have recently felt like I am falling out of love with Cape Comics. I don't know if it's the recent change up in creative teams on just about everything I read, or if my tastes are just changing. Have any of you ever gone through this with superhero comics before?
All the time.
Any suggestions on how to reinvigorate the passion? Wow.
Welcome to reading comics.
Most of my pull is comprised of superhero stuff, but I'm gravitating more and more to creator-owned and miniseries. Keep being the best at what you do, Vigo. Shout out to Matt Vigo. And once again, I feel like C should have been on for that email too, because he would have, let him, he would have laughed and cackled and said, I told Badr that many years ago he'd be on reading Judge Dredd by the time he's 30.
I think I'm only reading maybe 3 or 4 like Cape books a month. I'm reading.
Damn,
I'm considering Powers and House of X one book.
Ditto. Me too.
So I'm reading that. I'm reading Batman, but slowly.
I think I have Spider-Man on my pull, and that might be the only other cape I have.
And I'm really trying Legion. I'm going to try the Bendis Legion stuff, but I'm not really. Not a ton of it's doing anything for me at the moment either. But then you have Criminal, and you have Deadly Class, and Sea of Stars, and you have all these non-superhero stuff it's just really, really good right now.
Yeah, and Matt, I think I'm in the same space as you, but I was really in that same space like last year. And I think when you've been reading comic books as long as any one of us at this table, like you just see the same things with like Cape books. Like I was actually thinking like what character? Marvel just announced like a murder mystery. And I was like, honestly, I don't really give a shit who's underneath that, that body bag or whatever, because he'll probably come back in a couple, weeks. So,
and there's a thing with like evergreen characters that can't go too far off the rails. They have
and they're just too big too. Like it's like the main
the IP is more important than the story.
Yeah. It's like too big, so they can't do anything like long lasting or anything with Cesar's favorite word, stakes. There's no long consequences, stakes. But I mean, he's got a point. Like he definitely predicted that at some point you get into comic books through Cape, and then you realize, oh damn, like there's a whole.
What's the gateway to other stuff? Yeah.
Especially like the creator-owned stuff. Like, it's almost like you watch them cut their teeth, they get in the industry, they sign up for Marvel or DC, do the big characters, and then they're like, all right, well, I'm here now. Now let me show you guys what I can really do on my own. And to me, that's a lot, sometimes more interesting.
Going back to cartoonist Kayfabe and Ed Piskor, he said that Grand Design was essentially Marvel paid for his like getting his master's in comic booking because he viewed it as like going to school, and he was trying. They taught him how to be a better cartoonist and a better storyteller for him to then now take into all of his creator-owned stuff.
Huh.
So you go there and you collect the paycheck and you do sort of the job and you do as good of work as you can on it. But realistically, you have so much tape that you have to go
there's
through.
that assembly line process. Too,
there's only so much that you really can't own it because you have editors that you gotta answer to, and those editors then have to go to the board members, and the board members are worried about the investors, and there's all that tape that's just that you got to cross. And
Ashley, how many superhero books you collecting? You collect a lot of capes though?
I've got a bunch of stuff, but it's mostly Image and Dark Horse.
Yeah.
I still read Miss Marvel, like Avengers, stuff like that. I'll just pick stuff randomly up. But yeah, it's funny because like a lot of I really like Chip Zdarsky, and he's been doing a
His
lot
Spider-Man
of stuff
stuff is
lately.
so good.
It's really
you know
good.
what I don't like about Chip Zdarsky?
Whoa.
Drew saying his last name.
Oh no! How does Drew say it? What is it?
Zdarsky.
Oh no!
Well, he was
Drew, you're getting roasted.
Look, I'm not going.
I went into
like the guy who speaks Cree's not gonna make any comments.
I went into Bowl Bean the day after I went in, and it was like, I'm pretty sure you said his last name 13 different times, like 13 different ways on the episode.
To your point about bringing up Zdarsky, though, he did just wrap up that Spider-Man life story.
Yeah, those
Which-
were good.
I am down for more of that.
Yeah.
Like more just isolated, I guess if you want to call it Elseworld, Evergreen, whatever it may be, but like allowing a writer to do what they want with a character, and it's not impacting like the
It's like a
continuity.
different
Yeah.
way of
Yeah,
the grand
yeah.
design thing. It's essentially the same idea, but just sort of a different execution of it.
Yeah. And I feel like some of these guys, like Matt Rosenberg, like I read Four Kids Walk Into a Bank and loved it.
That's incredible.
And then I read Multiple Man just because he was writing it.
So I guess our advice. It sounds like our advice to Matt could almost be summed up to worry
read
about.
Black Hammer.
Yeah.
I was about to say that. That's the only thing I
If
will
you're
read.
If you're sort of upset with superheroes and you
Yeah.
want to read good superheroes, read Black Hammer.
Or if you haven't read Invincible, read Invincible.
Oh my god, yo!
Invincible too.
Invincible is one of
But
my
current
all-time-
stuff, yeah.
oh
Black
my
Hammer
God.
is the only thing I can
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
of that I read that's superhero related.
So it's almost
Yeah.
like maybe if you want to take baby steps, look at other superhero titles, but not within the big two. And then
Yeah.
if you like that, then maybe go deeper into that.
Or
there's,
even
some,
like-
there's some real bad non-big two superheroes.
Black Hammer Justice League is pretty
It's
good so
good.
far.
It's real
pretty
good.
fucking solid. But it sounds like as far as like all of our tips so far, it's been maybe more so follow the writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read the one-off stories or like the
Or
self-contained.
follow the artist.
or the artists. So follow more so the creative teams. Definitely check out their independent stuff. Maybe focus more so on like the self-contained stories. I found that once I stopped caring about continuity, my comic book
it's-
reading experience is so much
it's
better.
like a weight gets lifted.
Dude, I
off
just
of
don't
you.
give a shit.
It's like, oh, that's Batman from Earth 85 point. He's a vampire. But
No, I'm in
but
for
the
it.
moon burns him.
I'm in
okay,
for it.
that's fine.
I think now I've gotten to the point where if I'm going to pick up a Kate book, it's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing that's
Yeah.
so crazy? What are you
Yeah.
doing different that's going to just like get me hooked? And that sounds great, by the way. Oh, damn, Batman's black? Yes, like I'm in for it.
Oh, that was news this week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year, right?
2020.
So wait,
or something. And it's not Duke Thomas. That's the only thing we know is that
Yeah.
it's not Duke Thomas.
And that's for the comics, right? Like I saw that, I thought it was
think
maybe
it's-
the movies.
I think it's.
It's got to be the comics, right?
man.
They're saying it's comics, but it was in like Movie Reporter and
People
like
are
all
gonna
these.
freak. Or man,
Comic skaters
I
are
feel
gonna
like
be
they almost.
fucked.
I feel like they almost put this news out to test the waters. You know, like
new Batman, black guy. It's gonna be great. New creative team, new direction. Black.
wait, could you repeat that last word?
Oh no, that's black guy.
He's a black guy. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it for today. And I doubt we get it because it's just way too far out. I could expect it like if
Well,
it was.
if they're gonna do it, I hope they do the Miles Morales, where it is like a whole new character. It's not just like a
Yeah.
legacy.
Yeah.
It ends up being, I guess Miles is technically a legacy because of Prowler, but you know what I mean. Like I hope it's like a
No,
whole
no.
new, brand new thing, and it's not
Yeah.
just a well, Batwing is now Batman or anything like that. I hope it's something that actually makes sense. It's somebody with a similar but different story to what Bruce's would be.
I almost feel like we need to make one of them like old school PSAs. Like, so you're falling out of love with capes. It's perfectly fine. Your body goes through changes. Yeah. So embrace it, Matt. I got a voicemail from Malk. Do you just want to like verbally say your voicemail? I mean,
live in studio.
I'm just gonna play it out loud. All right.
What's going on, y'all? This one and only Mount Jack's calling in again. Got a little champion season. I wanted to give out to Disney. On the theme park side, which is always great because I don't get to talk theme parks much, and that's my wheelhouse, and I love having an excuse to talk about it. But I want to give Disney my champion season for the new Marvel lands that they're building in Disney's California Adventure and in Walt Disney Studios in Paris called Avengers Campus. They can't use the Marvel name because Universal deal, another topic for another day. But what was so fascinating about this whole idea is they're trying to connect all of the current Marvel attractions to make their own theme park universe of sorts. So, for example, the first Marvel attraction ever was the Iron Man simulator, Hong Kong Disneyland, and from that point, started off as an expo, just like Iron Man 2, and from that point of him saving Hong Kong, he went to Shanghai, where Hydra infiltrated Disneyland into the Ant-Man and the Wasp ride that's there, and now from that point, he decided to make these campuses all around the different Disney parks to recruit new heroes. So that's where you have Avengers Campus coming to DCA, which you have a Spider-Man ride where you do your own web slinging and a new Avengers e-ticket attraction that may be screen-based, but you'll get to fight Thanos. And then there will be the same as that park in Disneyland Paris. So I thought that was pretty fascinating to continue the stories that they're telling with the MCU and then bringing them on. You have a whole new generation of fans. I know that was way too long, but yeah.
All right, thank you, Malk, for for the voicemail. That's why when you showed up, I was like, did he come through just to read his voicemail live? So, the general gist of it is that all of these Disney rides that they're making based on Avengers somewhat ties into the MCU lore. Is the essential?
It's going to tie into their own theme park lore, so it'd be.
Oh my god! Everything is.
We just need more content,
yo, right? Like what the? At some point in the Phase 4 movies, they're going to mention, what about that guy that threw up on the ride? I think his name is Badr, Hydra agent. And like, whoa, what?
It's too much, but I get it. It's just a whole new generation of kids who just didn't grow up reading the comics. They only know the MCU movies, so that's how they get it. So, I mean, it makes sense, and it is interesting. I've never seen anything done like that before. But when you have the properties, it's like, well, why not give it a shot?
Yeah.
But with just finding out how they were making all these connections from all the parks and trying to make them intertwined. So, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster that's coming to Epcot is going to be in a Xandarian outpost. So it'd be like an embassy for one of the Marvel lands.
I'm sorry, did your shirt say fuck?
Show enough, dude. No, fuck luck.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry. I'm just mesmerized. Could not wear that shirt around my mom. No, that's...
He wore it around my mom this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure enough.
You got a cool mom. So.
I'm a rebel, man.
No, I appreciate that, Mel, especially the breakdown. I'm going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge next month, so I am sure I will be changing my tune of all of this like interactive lore building.
Adventure Landing? What's up with that Marvel stuff there? Adventure Island?
Oh, I think that's what Malcolm was getting at, is that they can't do X-Men properties or any of the properties.
Scoot the fuck over.
Our fifth co-host.
So when right before when Universal did Islands of Adventure with the Marvel deal, and that was right before I think they sold all the characters. Yeah. So they created something called the Marvel Action Universe, where they take the comic book characters and make theme park rides out of them.
Yep.
So that's why you can buy Marvel comics at Universal.
Yeah.
So Disney aren't allowed to use the word Marvel or any of those characters east of the Mississippi River. So that's why you see a Spider-Man attraction going to California, and they're building all those attractions, but they can't say Marvel. So that's what we're saying. The Avengers campus and basing it around the Avengers, saying instead of saying Marvel. But Universal still has the rights to X-Men to make an X-Men attraction or anything that's like comic book based. So like when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, they were selling Guardians of the Galaxy comic books at Universal, but they're building a Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Epcot because it's not a part of the ordeal.
That's complicated.
Yeah.
It's wild. That's why I said it's a whole different topic.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the breakdown, Mel. I also want to highlight that anytime that you add a direction followed by the Mississippi River, it just sounds way more badass.
East of the Mississippi.
I feel like our tagline should be like best comic book podcast
Yeah,
east of the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Like that is some Southern gangsta ass shit. Thank you, Mel. Is anyone planning like to go to any of these like theme parks, specifically like Galaxy's Edge, anytime soon?
In like 6 months.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Let it chill.
Yeah, if life wasn't planning every single step of the way, I would not have gone on my own.
You don't have any say there.
No, not at all. Yeah, look, I don't have a say in a lot of things, but they're always fun shit, so I just don't complain.
As long as it's
I'm like,
fun.
yo, this is fun. All right, cool. All right, and I think we got one more voicemail to play, and this one is from John Luna. We're going to play this here.
Shortbox crew, what's going on? It's your boy Luna. Checking in, saying thank you very much for those studio headphones. I was not expecting to win anything from you guys. I'm always happy to support the show, but those headphones are going to find a nice comfy home in my ears, and I will be listening to you guys through them, so go figure. You guys are talking pretty heavy about Spider-Man, the game for PS4, and the comics that are attached to it. My question for you guys, have you ever played the Gears of War franchise and read the comic books that are attached to that? I recently got introduced to them, and they're pretty good. So, was wondering what you guys thought, especially with Gears of War 5 on its way to stores next week. I did want to champion real quick Link IB. He's coming off of hiatus, getting back on Twitch. So let's support our boy with the River City Gaming Squad, Link IB, coming back. Let's see what kind of fresh stuff he has for us in the coming months. Hope you guys are doing well. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Talk to you later.
Cut that last part.
Yeah, I was just about to say I was like, all right, go to, nah, shout outs to Link in the River City Gamer Squad. And Let's One on Two, man. Shout outs to all of them. What was the question? He asked,
Gears of War?
Gears of War. I was just talking to someone how I've never played Gears of War, but I recently played Bulletstorm, actually because of life, and apparently they were kind of a, I don't know if they came after Gears of War or before, but the gameplay is very similar.
Okay, I was like, I played this other game. I'd rather talk
it's like
about.
No, it's like the same premise. It's like, two bulky looking friends
With, like, tribal tattoos.
Yeah, like a lot of tribal
Chainsaws
tattoos, spiked hair.
Batista's in this next one. I
Oh,
think.
really?
I think so. That's
Well,
weird.
Hell yeah.
I just remember
Yeah.
when, like, has anyone played Gears of War?
I played the first one.
very first one.
See, I haven't even
Like-
played the first one.
I think I rented it from
Yeah,
whatever the video game version of Netflix.
Gamefly.
back then. Gamefly.
Gamefly.
Oh, what happened to GameFly? See, I remember when it came out and that craze.
You remember,
was,
like, chopping
was
people
huge.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Never
like
got to
chainsaw.
chop anyone.
Like
Never got to
bayonet
chop.
chainsaw.
It was like the chainsaw gun.
I was like,
Yeah.
this ain't the most guy video
It's
game
really
ever. Like
everyone had like soul patches, and goatees,
backwards
tribal
cap, the
tattoos.
backwards
Yeah.
cap-
those are the
But
same
no.
people. Those are the same people standing ovation for Joker.
What's up, bro? Let's kill some aliens. Yeah. Mountain Dews. They all have like Punisher
So
logos.
much Mountain Dew.
stop.
So much Mountain
Because
Dew.
they were, damn, like the Gears of War. Just
up, bro?
Storm was crazy. Like they was merchandising out the ass. Like I think I was like in college at the time, and every like just neckbeard dude that like had the backpack. The
They
the
had
fucking
shirts that
folders.
looked like Affliction shirts. Remember those? Like,
Nah.
MMA. Yeah, there we go.
Austin's got the
Durst style.
snapback covering the eyebrows. And it's an ugly, it's a very terrible look. Actually, I feel like
need-
you would love Gears of War. It's violent, bunch of bros, like
Yeah, a bunch of
Aquaman
dude
looking bros.
Yeah. Your favorite.
I
You should
don't know.
you should like live stream it. You should
That would
live stream
be-
you playing that game.
I haven't played a game. I finished The Last of Us. That was the last game I played.
Is that not one of the best video games?
It
in the
was
world?
so good.
God damn it.
I think I almost
Two's coming out
cried
soon.
at the end.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last game I played, though.
Don't remind me. God. Oh man, what's the last video games you played, Ed?
Oh, I play. What did I play? I have like a old Xbox that has like all the MAME emulators. So I just play all this old 90s stuff.
What are you,
like
Austin?
10 minutes.
So
Same about that.
I do Madden every year, but that doesn't really count. So once every like 3 years, I buy like a real game, and it was Red Dead for me.
Oh, cool. I just hacked my Super Nintendo Classic, so I've got like all them
nice.
old ass games.
Yeah.
On there. Yeah, really worth it.
Well, Final Fight 3. I think I just beat that the other night.
I played Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fucking Battletoads.
I'll be straight up. I was never a Battletoads kid, so this was my first time playing it. That shit was fun as hell. Mm-hmm. And then I also played that hard ass fucking Maximum Carnage Spider-Man game.
That game was the shit.
That game, right?
That game was the shit.
What,
Y'all remember the terrible Sylvester Stallone Dread game?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Now I kind of.
Where do I go?
It was like just a 2D scroller game.
Yeah,
Dude, all those 2D scroller games
it was
were
kind of
always
like 3D, 2D, where like
Yeah,
models,
yeah.
right? But it was on a 2D plane. Yeah.
I also forgot that Mortal
And you
Kombat.
could go like one dimension back.
Yeah.
It was like 2.5D.
Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
3 came out for the Super Nintendo, and I forgot all about that game. That's
Yeah.
still like one of my all-time like favorite fighting games. Damn, Luna's got me wanting to like grow a soul patch and super glue a chainsaw to a gun. Well, that Gears of War
Doesn't
baby.
reflect on you, sir.
No,
this is was made fun of.
You'd look so stupid with fucking blonde hair. Oh, God, that'd be tight.
That's got to be a Patreon thing.
Man.
That's got to be a top tier.
Some blondes.
Some blonde spikes and a goatee.
We've also got to add.
Be some frosted
We'll let
tips.
you. We'll let you come
Listen
in.
to some fucking shine now.
We'll let you come in and also
Jinkos.
read your email
Yeah.
using Ed's mic.
Oh,
That would be a great. But no, that'd be a very high level
get you
tier.
some Jinkos and some wallet and a wallet chain. That'd be great.
So you mean like all the things I really wanted in 7th grade that my mom would not let me get? Mom, I just want some Jinkos. I know this chain is a choking hazard, but you gotta believe me. It fits. All right. I want to thank everyone that sent us an email or a voicemail. Always appreciated. For those of you wondering how can you get your email champions voices heard, you can shoot us an email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 904-580-4095. Like Malcolm said, there is a really creepy ass voicemail that Cesar did. So once you get past that, leave a message after that. But yeah, man, if you got a champion, a comment, a question that you want to share with the crew, we'll always find time to read those. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our last segment of the show, our champion season. Champion season, for those of you tuning in for the first time, is our segment of the show where we go around the table and get a chance to highlight a few things within pop culture. So it could be a comic book, a movie, a TV series, a book, an album, etc. that we feel, this is really dope and you should be checking it out.
One thing that you don't see about champion season is in the small break between, Badr actually does like a little white girl head whip.
Whoa.
It's to signify like, hey,
man.
shut up. You remember when we had Ed singing champion season?
It was me and Chris.
Yeah, but I listened back to those old episodes. I'm like, he was not a trained fucking like pet monkey. What the fuck were we thinking?
I don't know.
Like, we used to get you to sing champion season. Like, what the
Yeah.
And you know what?
Growing pains
Look,
for the show.
and it got sadder. Like, the first time we made you do it, you were like, whatever, I'll do it. And then it just was like,
After week 55, it's like, okay.
but you were a fucking champion, man. Whatever.
Sobbing.
Ashley, how about you kick us off with champion season? What do you
All
got
right.
champion today?
I'm going to champion
Disney Plus?
Disney Plus. Loki.
the White Trees #1. Did anybody read that?
No, man.
No? Oh,
White
it's really
Trees?
good.
You always
The White
come in here with
Trees?
like really cool, like we'll be talking about white trees a month from now,
It was...
and we'll never give you credit.
No, it's...
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So it's Zdarsky, and then it's Chris Anka, and Matt Wilson did the colors.
Is that the fantasy book that they're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's just a 2-issue series, right?
Yeah, but it was a pretty big
Respects
first
my wallet.
issue.
And time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. So it was amazing. It really it has some amazing art. There's like some real saga feels to it. So it was
There's
really
a lot
good.
of maps, right?
Yeah.
So very
all
Hickman.
kinds of world building.
Very Hickman.
God.
Yeah.
Very
Need a
Hickman.
source book to read this.
That'll be the companion edition for $50 later.
But yeah, it was great. And just knowing that it's only 2 issues, you know, you don't have to get like too far into it.
That's nice.
Only
Yeah.
2. So he wraps up the story in 2 issues.
Yeah, and I mean,
Oh.
it was an oversized issue, the first one. I read it digitally, so I don't know how many pages it was, but it took me a while to read it, so it was worth the money. And then I'm going to do Mindhunter Season 2. Anybody watch that?
Oh, the serial killer stuff? No.
Yeah. It was
looks
good.
great though.
Yeah,
What's the premise
it
of
was
that?
really good. It's kind of like the FBI kind of profiling serial killers.
Yeah.
It's kind of how they came up with like the whole profile of, you know, how you can look at a crime and be like, okay, well, this guy's probably like white. It's always a white male. White
That's
male.
white folk stuff. right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Just stuff like that.
That's what the movie Joker's about.
And it had because it has it's like based on real stuff, so they've got interviews with like these guys playing like real serial killers, and the guy, it's funny, the guy that plays Charles Manson in it played Charles Manson in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it just kind of
Old
ended up
Charlie.
like that. Yeah. So it was
He's being
it was good.
typecast. He's
I
playing
know.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was great. I finished it in like 2 days. It was
Can I
really
ask-
Oh,
interesting.
jeez.
Back to your first champion.
Oh my God.
Who are some of your favorite colorists? Because I feel like me and you have very like I love Laura Martin. Matt
was
Wilson
gonna
is up
say-
there. Whoever does all of Jim Lee's, I think Scott Williams. Is
Yeah.
that Scott?
He's the inker.
Yeah, he's the
Or
inker.
no.
Who's his colorist? Jim Lee, Scott Williams, and then something. But anyways, and whoever does the colors for Stuart Amonin all the time. I think it's him. But I was curious, like, who are some of your favorite colorists?
I think so. Definitely Laura Martin.
Yeah, she's up there.
Matt Hollingsworth.
Yes,
I would say because he does a lot of image stuff. I really like his stuff. And my absolute favorite is Elizabeth Brettweiser.
Yep, Betty Brettweiser.
She's
From Sarah.
the
Yo,
best.
yeah. That-
she did Velvet. She's the absolute best.
I think she's the best.
She's so
she's
good.
sort of been blacklisted because of her husband's political connections.
Who's her husband?
He does like Red Rooster, and he's
Okay.
he's the comics.
Okay,
guy.
I got it.
I don't think he's a. I don't
got
think
it.
he's a. He's just a friend
He's
with an Ethan
associate.
Van
All right,
Sciver.
by
Yeah.
association.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't, and she seems great, and I've never heard anyone say anything
Look, her
negative
work
about
is
Betty.
amazing. Yeah.
But I think Betty's the
She's-
best.
yeah,
All right.
she really is.
Don't kill
Jacob
Me.
Phillips is doing a really good job recently too.
Don't kill me for this, but was it Justin Posner that passed away recently? Was that him?
It sounds really familiar.
That was there was a colorist named Justin who passed away recently who did a lot of the stuff for. He did a ton of Marvel.
There we
stuff.
go. Yeah, yeah. Then we're thinking saying he was amazing. That dude was. I think he did a lot of the ultimate, the Miles Morales Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
That dude is. Yeah.
He did a lot of Bendis stuff in general.
Yes. Yeah. Well said. To be honest, I think I've gotten to a point now where a colorist name will almost be enough for me to get a certain book.
Yeah.
Because it's like these colorists don't play around.
Tamara Bonvillon's really good too.
Yeah, she's really cool too.
What has she done?
She did Doom Patrol, the Nick Darrington Doom Patrol.
Oh man. Yeah.
I think did she do Rat Queens? I think that
She
might be
might.
one of the first things.
She does
I-
a ton of
yeah.
stuff. She does a ton of stuff, but she colors in a similar way to I do, which is with like clipping pass and those kind of things, which just create insanely huge files that that once you send to Mech apparently makes printers freak out. There's like a bunch of stories about her print files going and people like freaking out about them being like
Yeah.
500 megabyte files and stuff.
Austin, how about you take us next for Champion Season? What do you got?
I'm gonna go. So I walked into Gotham City Limits for the first time and was chatting with the owner Ben, and started talking about Garth Ennis and just how I like probably 90% of what he does, and how sometimes he can Garth Ennis me too much, and then somehow we started talking about We 3 and blah 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 blah, and just like animal comics, and he goes, "Well, have you ever read Red Rover Charlie?" And I'd never heard of it because I don't like a lot of Avatar stuff, even though I know Ennis has put out a bunch of good stuff on there.
It's
But-
some of the ugliest comics.
They're not. They're not. They're not. Just like even the art in this book is fine.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not what a lot of books on the shelves could be.
Yeah.
But the idea for it would be is everyone familiar with Crossed?
Mm-hmm.
If the Cross sort of zombie takeover happened, what would happen to the dogs in the in the apocalypse? So it follows 3 dogs, Red, Rover, and Charlie, and sort of their brotherhood of escaping the apocalypse together, and all the funny shit that they encounter. And it's within the first 3 pages. If you don't have like tears like swelling up, you're probably not human.
Whoa,
damn. But I mean, but then it's also filled with some like extremely laugh out loud humor in a style where like humans are referred to as feeders in it. They call cats like hiss spots. There's just a bunch of just cool rivers and oceans are called the big splashes. So it's just they don't have the same communication things that we do as humans. So it's really interesting to see Garth Ennis's take on how 3 best friends would handle the apocalypse told through the voices of 3 good boys.
Just like Homeward Bound, the apocalypse. Was it that?
That's probably the elevator pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Homeward Bound in the Cross universe.
You brought up what was it? We 3? Is that the name of it? I read that this year, and that was probably one of the first comic books about like centered around animal protagonists that really won me over. Even though it was like kind of a hard read, I won't lie.
It's not
easy. Like just the dialogue threw me off.
Yeah, and it's not a feel good story. Like no part of We 3.
But that was like I said, one of the first comics I read with an animal protagonist. I was like, oh, this is really dope. And I have like Pride of Baghdad.
Oh God!
On my
so
another,
I've got it downloaded from I think
that Brian. So it's
Comixology
Brian
Unlimited or something.
Yeah,
but
like based on.
I'm a
true
sucker
story.
for lions. I'm a sucker for lions. All right, like, yeah. Okay, so I got to check out this Rover Red, Charlie. First of all, the name is great, and then okay, I see the breakdown. All right, what else you got?
And so then another thing I wanted to talk about is A Complete Lowlife by Ed Brubaker, written and drawn by Ed Brubaker.
He draws, damn.
Well, I think it's his first comic work, but it was a top shelf book back in the day. But it's autobiographical about basically whenever he was a young piece of shit and sort of, using girls in like a way and like feeling shitty about it and like stealing from the bookstore he was working at and like all those kind of things that a lot of 19 to 24-year-old people sort of deal with as they're trying to become the person who sends Alan Moore a check for using inspiration from previous stories and those kind of things. So I think Ed Brubaker is one of the best stories in comics in general, from where he started to what he's doing now. And I think he's the best writer in comics at the moment as well. But so yeah, it's just cool seeing some of his first published work.
First of all, really good champion, and I think I remember seeing the solicitations for it, and it kind of goes back to our advice to Matt. Ed Brubaker, you're right, is one of the best writers in the game, period. His name on anything will more than likely get my attention, and it started because I read his Captain America run, and I was like, well, damn, I mean, he did Captain America this well. What else has he got? And I've been a lifelong fan since. Like, Criminal is probably like, man.
I think Criminal is my favorite comic of probably the last 20 years.
Was it? I think Kill or Be Killed was definitely like anything he does, that man touches, or him like leads. I mean, shit, even like his Gotham City Central stuff. That's so like good. It's like, this is a cop drama comic book.
Yeah, it's everything that he does for the most part is pretty good. Like, he doesn't have any sort of goose eggs. There's nothing that I can think of with his name on it that I've read and hated. Some of the Batman stuff was okay, but it was still above average comic stuff.
Yeah, I'll agree with you that. I think the Batman, like, I feel like Batman just, like, even like Grant Morrison's Batman run, I just didn't care about.
Shut your mouth.
Whoa.
All right. Ed, what about you, man? What do you got to champion?
One thing I watched during the storm, it's a martial arts movie called The Night Comes For Us. And it's an Indonesian martial arts film. So it's kind of in the vein of, if you've watched The Raid or Raid 2, you will like this movie. It is probably the goriest martial arts movie I've ever seen. Story, it doesn't really matter. It's a triad, and they're fighting, and that's fine. But really cool. The few Indonesian martial arts movie I've seen, they have a really cool thing where they'll have these very visceral, bloody fights, but then they'll kind of get to like a boss, character, and then they'll do a more traditional kind of choreographed, like a kung fu movie, style where it's more, orchestrated, more stylistic. But then they'll have one where it's like 20 people with machetes just hacking away at people. So it's a lot of action. It's like I said, it's one of those just sit down and watch people getting punched in the face for an hour and a half, and very fun movie. It's one of the funner martial arts movie. Like I said, if you like the Raid 2, you'll love this movie.
Okay, word. And shout outs to our favorite Indonesian listener, Adrian Syaf.
Oh.
Out there. Every time you bring up Indonesia, I think about that. Was there anything else you had?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. I got 2 champions. The first one, actually during the hurricane, I tried a Beyond Burger for the first time.
Oh,
that shit was good.
Warren's crying.
Oh, yeah. I actually,
he's already talked to me about you trying.
Yeah, he was the first one I texted.
The Burger King one, or just
Beyond,
that's different.
So I guess
That's Impossible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Warren actually explained that to me. So there's Impossible Burger, which is its own whatever thing, and that's what Burger King has.
Yeah.
And then Beyond Meats has their Beyond Burger.
Okay.
And you could buy. I think we bought like 2 patties from like Publix.
Yeah.
They just cook it like a regular burger. Dude, it was so good. Like that thing was on point. Like I think like you could have just said, "Hey, I just made you a burger. Here you go." And I'm telling you. Like
we eat them all
unless
the time.
you really like pay attention.
It's not a one to me.
It's not a 1 for 1.
To me, it's not a 1 for 1.
No. But it's a damn near like 1 to 0.75 or something.
But Warren's like, yeah, man, it tastes just like a hamburger.
No.
Warren hasn't had a hamburger
really
in 15
good.
years.
Yeah. Right.
But it's fucking good. Like if you, because I know a lot
Good
of
way to
people
put it. It's just fucking good.
It's just good.
Put that shit on the label.
Yeah.
It's just fucking good.
It's just good. It's just
Buy it,
fucking
asshole.
good. And some white guy in Jacksonville. It's fucking good.
Eat better. Eat
And
better.
the thing, like, if anyone tells you, oh, and it's a healthy alternative, like, you're like, oh, okay,
Well, the
it's
thing that
even
gets me
better
is
now.
like it tastes just like a burger. It's like bullshit to me. It's like no. It's like if it tastes close enough and it's good, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, and that's
But it's not
once
gonna
you
taste like a burger.
and once you start weighing like all the variables,
Yeah.
like we're not going to buy ground beef anymore because we have this as an option now.
Yeah.
That's a good option.
It's a close enough alternative to sort of weigh you away from buying a bunch of shitty slaughterhouse ground beef.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what I kind of came out of it was if the price point is even close to just regular ground beef, then I might just make that jump. But to your point, it's just fucking good. So I got to try that for the first time, and that was. I know it's not like a radical like change, but I was like, this is my first like kind of step outside of normal.
It's like a baby step out.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, there's definitely like
This
viable
is when they
options
say
out
it's
there.
like just like or like 100, like I said, 1 for 1. That's like,
there's a really good Freakonomics podcast about like I think it's Beyond Meats. And I mean, just the stuff that they're doing to try to get it to that level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're looking at all of it. Like, they purposely
The texture's there.
Yep.
The texture's there. The fat content's there.
Yeah.
and even
That's
like
the only-
visually, like
visually
the red,
it's there.
I think
Bleeds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
bleeds.
context clues
Yes.
lead you to believe
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's
yeah.
beef. The taste just isn't 100%, but it doesn't have to be.
No.
yeah.
Like if
Look.
that's my biggest issue is because I would love everyone to transfer to Beyond Meats, but you got to go into it expecting it to be very close to a hamburger, but not
Yeah,
a 1
that's
for
the thing.
1
Yeah.
thing for a
Look,
hamburger.
throw some cheese, ketchup, onions on it. It's a wrap. Like, yeah,
Maybe not cheese, but
Oh,
definitely cheese. This is a cheese
vegan
podcast.
cheese.
All right, and then the other thing I'll champion that I got to finish, thanks to Dorian, is Akira the manga. I know most people usually watch the anime and then the manga, but I just happen to have like access to the comics. I read like all 6 volumes, and it was like over
800 volumes.
It's over like 2,000 like pages,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's like a manga. It reads fairly quickly. There's like 5 pages full of just destruction, right?
18 pages later.
And Akira is one of those iconic properties that if you are in any type of like nerd,
it's not
culture,
Watchmen or Dark Knight Returns. But it's the next tier
Yes.
of like what you're supposed to read. But I haven't read it.
It's like the imagery.
It's like the cyberpunk Bible. It's,
Yeah.
It's
And I went into it like really not knowing shit about it, other than like the iconic, like bike swerve, the iconic, image of Kaneda walking up to his bike. I just know certain elements. I've seen it, referenced a lot. But
red leather jacket.
Yeah, exactly, right? So there's no way that you don't at least have some sort of idea of what the hell Akira is. Reading the manga, though, I learned Akira is not, the main character. I thought, I learned like, oh, this is Kaneda and all this, but dude, it blew my mind. Like, it's still so fresh. Yeah. It's still like really relevant.
It was it early 80s? I don't.
Yeah. It originally ran from 82 to 1990. Yeah. And just like really, I was reading something that was saying like Akira's changed up manga the same way that like new cinema like kind of got rid of like the old Hollywood kind of like cookie cutter movies.
Yeah,
like that's kind of like Akira's impact to manga and anime too, because the anime's got its own like story as far as like how much budgeting they got to do all the things they did. It almost reads a little bit like how we are praising Into the Spider-Verse for just like creatively like creating just a new format of animation. It almost reads like that's what Akira was, the anime at the time. But I read the manga. I bought the anime. I'm gonna watch that next. But dude, the manga is just insane, dude. Like, if you are a fan of like really detailed artists like really a Brian Hitch or
if
Jeff
anybody
Darrows,
wants to let me borrow Akira, so I don't have to drop like $4,000.
I got you.
Yeah, I used to have all of them at the Bookmine. You could just stay there. Just go there.
Now they don't. I went into Chamblin's looking for
They used to have a bunch
anything.
of those things, like on the top shelf.
I ended up getting to like just a very Akira rabbit hole. It's also one of the first mangas translated by Marvel's Eclipse line back in like whatever the 90s.
Is
I
it
think.
Epic or Eclipse?
Epic. I'm sorry. Thank you.
That was their first shot. Adult.
Yep. So Epic got the property.
That's where Criminal started and a bunch of other stuff.
So Epic got the Akira property, and they actually released them, I believe, in single issue format.
Yeah.
So
they were like, I remember having a couple as a kid. They were kind of like what DC calls like the deluxe prestige format, where it's like a slightly
perfect bound.
Yeah. Perfect bound.
So
slightly hardcover.
Epic had them in single issue form, and they were in color, which was different because and it wasn't just like a 1-for-1. Like the artist and creator of Akira, Katsuhiro Otama, actually like redrew certain panels and like kind of reorganized it to fit the American version.
Yeah,
and
they
the color
didn't just
version.
do like a mirror.
Yeah. So, and it was really because of Epic's reprinting of Akira that like it was like one of the big factors of why manga blew up, and I guess the States was because of that. But I mean, now you can go. I think Dark Horse had re-released Akira in like 6-volume mangas too, as well, or 6-volume graphic novels. But it's fantastic. Yeah. Like you could definitely read it, and you're like, damn, this is what they mean by like a timeless classic. It just still holds up really strong. And if you're a fan of like movies like Chronicle, which I love, or Stranger Things, like any one of them type of shows where it's got like a kid with uncontrollable psychic powers, then this is where all of that shit came from. So highly recommend Akira. Definitely, I think we've got plans to maybe do a movie review of it here soon, so I'll keep everyone up to date. But that's what I got for Champion Season. Any last minute shout out plugs, anything you guys want to go ahead and plug in? Ashley, you got anything coming up?
No, I'm just getting ready for Inktober. Does anyone else do an Inktober?
I might do it like halfway. And
isn't the premise you like do an ink piece every
drawing
day?
a day? Yeah.
And
some of them are you doing a prompt list or just drawing whatever?
I'm just gonna do whatever.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I'm terrible at inking, so I'm excited.
Okay. What about you, Austin? What you got?
Football season.
Oh
yeah. Yo, how was the pop up?
It was good.
I gotta applaud you, by the way. I appreciate you coming through. You had a pop up this like basically all day. And Malcolm, they came here right after their nice little pop up.
Nice.
How was it?
It was good. It was hot as fuck. It was so hot.
Hurricane didn't even cool anything down.
Man, you know how mad I am about that bullshit.
I got in my car and it said 104.
Yeah.
My car just melted. I just walked there. I said, fuck
it's a
this.
puddle.
Yo, you get that cross-track?
Not yet. Yeah, yo, dude, shout out Threat Supply, man. Like you've been pumping out some great like merch.
Thank you. Yeah, Threat. Yeah.
Dramatic
you want me
pause.
to do that?
I don't know. I don't like talking about
Yo,
my shit.
around this time of year, if I look at my bank statements, it's like Threat Supply transaction, Threat Supply. I'm like, God damn. Like, you would think I know more about football by how much I'm fucking buying of this Jags gear.
You can never know more than your girlfriend.
You're right.
Oh, man.
Yo, she does all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Ed, what do you got to plug in?
I have the Alabama Fanticon the first weekend of October.
Should I be worried for you?
I don't know.
Where's
If you
it
don't
at?
hear-
We're at in Alabama.
Dothan, Alabama.
Never
Mecca.
even heard of it.
Me either. But I got invited, so I'm going. And I want to get out of town.
Wait. Is this the premise for True Detective season 4?
No, it's run by a couple of people that I've met doing conventions, and it's kind of their hometown conventions. So the guy who's running it owns like a video game and comic shop.
Oh, cool.
So he's basically and
You fit that. That's
It's and it's they're doing. I mean, a lot of their design work and all their stuff. It looks really professional. So it's looking really good. I think it's their third or fourth year doing it. So it's cool to get invited. So yeah, I'll see. I already asked where not to stay. They said stay by the highway. It's like okay, all right, sounds good. And then I might be doing Sunday at Ancient City Con.
Oh, where? Yeah.
So like Aaron's Hazuri, he's doing like Friday, Saturday, and then he's not going to do Sunday. So I might take his.
When
spot.
is Ancient City Con?
It's like the 22nd or something like that.
I never know about it until the Monday after it.
Yeah, it's like World Golf Village. It's kind of out of the way, so it's like
It is Ancient City Con. Is Friday, September 20th through September 22nd. So about like what, 2 weeks from now?
2 weeks.
Roughly.
So I might be there Sunday.
Word.
I don't know.
All right, and I want to go ahead and thank. Let me get some shout outs out the way. Let me thank Malcolm, man, for being our in studio guest. Yes. I want to go and thank Logan Zawaski as well. He's been like giving me all the updates on this Joker movie. He is hyped for this Joker movie.
Joker.
So he's been like,
he's going to be one of those dudes. So, if it's on the news,
Don't go out.
7 foot tall white man.
shit, really, all he's got to do is just spray paint his hair green. He's got the hair
Yeah,
down.
he's got the facial.
Oh my god, he
like,
kind of looks like Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah, it's like 7 foot tall man.
What do we got? What do we got planned next week? So we're doing our George Perez Artist Spotlight as chosen by the patrons. So we'll be doing that recording next week.
I hear he's pretty good.
He's all right. He's all right. It's a lot to cover. That man's history.
That dude did so many comics.
Dude, I'm almost tempted to just say, do we want to break it down to Marvel and DC? Because he's one of them dudes where it's like,
He's done
his
DC work alone, you could spend
Teen Titans.
6
Yeah.
I got a book that's,
between Wonder Woman and Teen Titans, you could just talk about forever.
and his Wonder Woman series has always been on my like, one day you're gonna get around to this. Because I feel like that, like the way he draws Wonder Woman is just
And
really
him and
well.
McFarlane had some beef in the 90s, so
Ooh boy,
that's fun.
What do you think about George Perez?
He's amazing.
Nice, well said.
We're going to talk about...
And he was just like a genuinely nice guy.
He's a
Yeah.
grandpa.
we're going to talk about FetishCon?
Oh, dude, come on.
Yes!
We named a whole episode on it.
Yes.
on that.
It's like the only cons I'm going to do are
FetishCon.
FetishCon, Brony Bash, and like whoa.
And I think he just added. Gears of War con to.
Gears of Wars.
That'd be a wild fucking con. So we're doing our George Perez Spotlight next week. We got currently right now our Batman Hush comic book and movie review on the Patreon. And like I said, I want to definitely do an Akira themed episode real soon, and maybe even like a Webtoons one. So that's what we got.
So I want to read Batman Hush, but I really have a hard time reading Jim Lee.
What? Why?
I just can't get into it. I
Really?
can't get into Jim.
It's
I
like
know
his
that's
best
like the
work to
most
me.
contrarian
No.
Cesar thing to say on the fucking planet, but
I think C actually likes Jim Lee. So
Just watch the cartoon. It's pretty
no,
good.
actually, well, the cartoon
it was
like
who was
took
the
a lot
writer?
of creative liberties.
Was the writer Loeb?
Jeff Loeb, yeah.
Yeah.
Rereading the comic book, the story doesn't hold up as much, but
I like when
damn, the
Hush.
art is so
I like
good.
when
Yeah,
Hush
the art.
comes into other like comics, but
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
read the actual Hush comic itself.
Like-
That's one of the still the best-selling
yeah
collections.
To me, that is the blockbuster movie of comic books. It just like if you remember how big it was when it came out, like
when was it? Like 2002 ish.
yeah, so, like some
Yeah.
early time, and I mean like, and it wasn't even a special like. It was a special event, but it wasn't like they didn't treat it like that in the sense of like it started on issue 608 and it ended I think 613 or something or 23.
Just like year one.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
right
right.
in the
And then
middle
it
of
just
Batman,
it just
right.
continued. But for it to be re-released in so many, like I'm telling you, dude, it just reads like a big block. But it's got all of his villains
Everybody's
gallery,
in it,
blah
yeah.
blah blah. So
Everyone's in it.
It's worth just reading right now to me, at least from like the artistic standpoint.
I have to reread it. I just watched the animation like a few days ago. So
Okay, I actually I'll
gotta
pick your
reread
brain
it.
on it. With that being said, like I said, check us out on patreon.com/theshortbox. Stay tuned for our George Perez episode next week. And then as far as events, we've got a few things cooking that I don't want to talk about right now until I actually have like solid dates, but we definitely got some events planned before the end of the year,
including the live dyeing of Badr's hair blonde.
Yes, yes.
Do that for like the live 300th episode, looking like Slim Shady. With that being said, man, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. And as always, we'll catch you guys next week.
Yo, what happened to peace? Peace.